आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारो अन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्याय नचिकेतसे नमः. So, we are continuing our Kaṭha Upaniṣad teachings, which was given by Lord Death to a boy called Nachiketas. And we are in the second chapter of Kaṭha Upaniṣad and the 15th shloka, which we already saw in the last session, the last class. I will read again and I will remind you what we have told, and we will go to the new words of this second chapter. So, shloka number 15. Sarve Vedaha Yat Patam Amananti Tapamsi Sarvani Cha Yat Vatanti Yadichandu Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi Om iti etat. What is the meaning of this shlokan? We already passed that Nachiketas arriving in the death's mansion and waiting for 3 days, and at last death arrives, and after arriving he saw that he was missing to do the Athithi Puja. What is meant by Athithi Puja? When a person arrives unexpectedly in your house, you have to give a certain care and a certain welcome towards that person, and who is being invoked as the presence of Lord. So it is told in the traditional text that Athithi Puja is important in our tradition. When a person come unexpectedly into our house, we need to do certain formalities towards that person. That was missing to do by Lord Death. Then he has done that Athithi Puja, which is to be done by the host towards the guest, certain formalities, and it is done by the Lord Yama. And in order to avoid the shortcomings of not doing the Athithi Puja, not welcoming the guest properly in the right time, there will be some shortcomings in the form of papa, unfavorable results. So he wants to avoid that. For the avoidance of that, he given 3 boons to this young boy. Please ask 3 boons in order to avoid my shortcomings of not doing the Athithi Satkara, not welcoming the guest in the proper way, which is told in the text of Indian culture. Then Nachiketas asked the first 2 boons regarding one thing, that his father should recognize without any fear, without any issues, that he was coming from a world where the Lord death is sitting. After seeing the death, one is going to again to the world of normal things like what we were doing in this external world, to that same world, to that same loga, he is going to descend again. So when his father meet him, father should not have any uncomfortable by meeting him. So he asked Yama that his father should be pleased by his meeting. After meeting the Lord Death, when he again arrives to father, father should welcome him. Father should not have any fear. Father should sleep properly. Father should have a good health. Everything he asked. As his dharma, as a son of a proper father, he asked and the Lord agreed that boon. Again, he asked the second boon. What is that? I want a ritual which will take the person who has done that particular ritual to heaven. A ritual which can lead the person who is performing that ritual. That person will attain heaven in the proper time. That type of ritual you have to give to me. This is my second boon. Again, Nachiketas asked something related to the Vyavaharika Prapancha, empirical world, a boon which is connected to the normal life of a person. Everybody will have a desire or like to be reach heaven, a particular place where the pleasures are in high tune, dances are there, sensual pleasures are there, good food is available, dances are going on 24/7. That everybody love to be that because sensual pleasures are inevitable for a human being. So Nachiketas asked, because people have a lot of enthusiasm to go to heaven, then I should go with a tool, a means to reach heaven. So please give me a particular ritual which will take the person to heaven. The Lord agreed and given that ritual and taught him proper. And he also named that particular ritual in the form of Nachiketas called Trine Tri Nachiketagni. The name of that particular ritual itself, Nachiketagni. Again, he asked the third boon, which is very extraordinary. I want to know about the secrets of death. On that context, Lord Death examined him in different ways, giving certain things to him to withdraw his third boon, or he already told Nachiketas, this is not meant for a boy. A boy should ask a boon something related to his own age. But the Nachiketas was firmly confirmed his status that I want only this boon. I don't want any other thing from you. I just want to know what is the secret behind the death. Whether there is a life for a person after giving up the body, or there is no life for a person after giving up the body. Then Lord Yama started to teach Nachiketas after testing his eligibility to receive the Vedanta text in systematic way. And he last approved that you are eligible for receiving my teachings, and he started the teaching in systematic way. On that, we are seeing the first shloka of his teaching. What is that? Sarve Veda et Padam Amananti. Amananti, mentioned in the scriptures. That which goal which is mentioned in the scriptures, which is being declared by the scriptures. A goal which is to be attained as a human being. The first priority of a human being is to attain the moksha purushartha through the knowledge of Brahman. That goal is being mentioned or declared by the scriptural text, scriptures, Vedantic text or Indian scriptures. Sarve Vedaha, all the Vedas which are mentioning that word as a declaration for a human being to be attained. That is being told as the first line. The second line is that we already saw this shloka. Remember that. I am just giving you as a reminder, brushing up. Tapamsi sarvani cha yad vatanti. The Vedas used to mention different types of spiritual disciplines in order to attain what? Which goal? Scriptural spiritual disciplines are meant to attain a particular goal. That goal which is been mentioned by these scriptures, I will tell you briefly. And also the people who used to perform brahmacharyam in order to know which goal, that goal I will tell you briefly. That goal is named as Om. Om is the designation of that particular goal. Name of the goal is called Om. We are going to see what is Om in the coming verses. This was the shlokan, this was the verse which we saw elaborately in the last class. Today we are going to see the next advice or the next instruction of the Lord, death towards Nachiketas, second chapter, 16th shloka of Kaṭha Upaniṣad. Edat hi eva aksharam brahma, edat hi eva aksharam param, edat hi eva aksharam jnatva, yo yadichandi tasya tad. I will read once more. Edat hi eva aksharam brahma, edat hi eva aksharam param, edat hi eva aksharam jnatva, yo yadichandi tasya tad. Aksharam means a syllable, letters together. The Om is a syllable which contains three letters: Akaram, Ukaram, Makaram. A plus U is equal to O and plus Ma, Om. This syllable represents origination of the creation is represented by the Akaram. Sustenance of the creation is represented by the Ukaram. The resolving of the creation is represented by the Makara. This is the one explanation. Again, the explanation continues on Om. I am just briefing what is Om for the sake of our continuation of Kaṭha Upaniṣad. Okay. Akaram plus Ukaram plus Makaram is equal to Om. A, U, M. Again, the Akaram will represent the waking state of a human being. The Ukaram will represent the dream state of a human being. The makaram will represent the deep sleep state of a human being. From the human being, please you extend to the all living beings. Every living being goes through these three states respectively. Or it can come vice versa also. From the waking state, one can go directly to deep sleep also. Anyway, three states. It can also represent some other things also. Ma. Maheshwar is represented by M. The last letter M. Akara is represented, Akara is being giving the representation of Brahmaji, the creator with who having the four faces. In the Indian philosophy and also in our text, we saw the creator as Brahmaji, not Chaturmukha Brahma, who having four faces. The O will represent Lord Vishnu. Similarly, there are different explanations regarding Om. They all three letters together one syllable, and it will represent the name of the particular gold called Brahman. Brihi Vriddau. From that root only Brahman comes. The biggest thing which is the locus of creation. The biggest thing which is never subject to have a birth or never subject to have a death. That Brahma is being focused through the word Om, which we are going to see elaborately. For the time being, you understand Om is the name of the particular goal. Why this name is given first? We identify people in the world through their names first. When we send somebody to Rishikesh for the first time, what we will say? We will say the name of the ashram first. Where you are going? Swami Dayananda Ashram, Sanjadi Rishikesh. Any auto wala will take you this particular destination. We don't explain the place first. We just utter the name of the place where we are going to be. After that, we will say the Chowkidar's name. There is a person who is wearing security uniform. Please confirm with him that you are from here and there. Or we will say some brahmachari's name. There is a brahmachari called Sachit. You please meet him. He will do the assistance for you to have everything in a favorable condition, in a proper condition. Like this, anywhere, when we are going to see somebody for the first time, we always get some names first. Before getting introduced about the place or person's character or shape or his way, first we utter the name of the person. Similarly, the goal is very clear now. Its name is Om. And also, mind is very much familiar to receiving certain words and to meditate upon that before getting the shape or the understanding of the thing. If we get a word, the mind can utter again and again. So, Lord Death introduces to Nachiketas the goal which we are talking about, or which you have asked me, has a name called Om. And this Om is not an ordinary thing. By uttering this syllable itself, it has some benefits. What are the benefits? That is being told in this particular verse. What is that? Edat hi aksharam brahma Here, the Brahma word should be taken as inferior status of Brahman. That is called Saguna Brahma or Hiranya Garbha. We have certain deities in our tradition. Maheshwar, Vasudev, Shakti, Durga, Kali, different deities are there, which has forms. I already mentioned you, mind will be capable to meditate on a thing which has a form and a name. It will be very difficult for a beginner to meditate upon a formless thing. So Lord Yama introduces a particular thing and a particular name. So, etadhi aksharam, this word indeed, Om, is represented it is a representation for the inferior Brahman. Means deities can be Maheshwar, can be Vishnu, can be Shakti, whatever deities which we meditate upon. Or Shankara in his Bhashya says Hiranya Garbha, a form, a deity who has having some form in order to meditate, keeping all his creation in his womb, and he is a deity, Hiranya Garbha. And there is a particular meditation called Hiranya Garbha Upasana. So the first sentence, Etadhi Aksharam Brahma. Indeed, this Om represents the inferior Brahman. Inferior Brahman means deities which are having certain names and forms. Saguna Brahma Upasana. So Maheshwar, Lord Shiva can also be called in the form of Om. That is why whenever we do Archana for the Lord, Om Shivaya Namaha, Om Maheshwaraya Namaha, Om Shambhave Namaha, Om Pinakine Namaha, Om Shashishekharaya Namaha. We say like this. The first we utter the Om, then we utter the name, and when we surrender him to him by uttering the word Namaha. Similarly, when we do puja for Vasudev, Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha, Om Vasudevaya Namaha, Om Vasudevakmajaya Namaha, Om Venugopalaya Namaha. We do that. So we utter the word Om in the front of the deities when we do some puja or meditation. These deities which are having some forms are called inferior Brahman or Saguna Brahman, or it can be also called by the Adi Shankara mentions in his Bhashya commentary that Hiranyagarbha is being mentioned by the word Brahma in the first sentence. Etat hi aksharam Brahma. You convert that Hiranyagarbha in the form of deities which we are praying unto. Whatever deity I love to be in my heart or in my altar, which deity which I used to pray daily in my daily life, that deity you can convert in the name of Brahman. Indeed, this Om represents the deity which you meditate daily in your daily life. Please convert like that, this sentence. So, by uttering the Omkara itself, you are getting connected with your desired deity. That is being told by Edadhi eva aksharam Brahma. Indeed, this Om will represent the inferior Brahman. Because mind is familiar to meditate upon the thing which are having some forms, names and forms. It is very easy for the mind to get connected with a form. That is why inferior Brahman means those deities who are having some forms. So the word itself will represent the deities. And also, the same Om also represents the formless Brahman. What is called Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Nirgunam, Brahma. Niratishayam, Brahma. That consciousness which is unlimited, which is all-pervasive, which is formless, which is having the unlimited happiness, and which is having in the everybody's heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati. For the sake of meditation, a location is given for an all-pervasive Lord by Lord Krishna itself. Please take it as in the same manner. When we say inferior Brahman means the all-pervasive Brahman is invoked in the form of a deity. That's all. The gold is formless. But when we want to see the gold, it will be in one form. It can be in the form of a bangle. It can be form of a earring. It can be in the form of a chain. It can be in the form of the vial, whatever it may be. The formless Brahman is invoked in the form of inferior Brahman. There is no difference between Saguna Brahma and Nirguna Brahma. Formless Brahman itself is invoked through a form, which I am identified to. So, any deity is a means for a person to reach the Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Any deity, it can be Lord Ganesha, which is an inferior Brahman. It can be a lump of clay. For the Ganesha Chaturthi, we keep a Ganesha in the form of a clay, which is made of clay. That itself represents the inferior, the superior Brahman. That is been told by Lord Death by the first sentence, that Edat hi aksharam Brahma. Indeed, this is the inferior Brahman, this Omkara which I uttered. The same Omkara is being told, indeed, that is the same Omkara in the form of superior Brahman. So, the Om has the significance of identifying with oneself towards the inferior Brahman, and also to identify with the superior Brahman. May one utter Omkara daily through prayers. So, in our tradition, any prayer starts with Om uttering. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam, Om Sahanavavatu, Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Om Brahmavita Apnoti Param. Any mantra will start with the uttering of the Om. Why? Utterance of the Om itself will draw certain punya in one's life. That is being told by The first letter, the second letter, the third letter, akaram, ukaram, makaram, will become one syllable which can draw some punya in your life. That is called Om. That Om will represent inferior Brahman also. That Om will represent the superior Brahman also. We are going to discuss what is meant by superior Brahman, because that is the central theme of the Upanishad, which we are going to see in the next verses. Just understand the meaning of the shloka right now. This Omkara will represent the superior, inferior Brahman also. This Omkara will also represent the superior Brahman. And Lord Yama says that Edadhi Aksharam Jnatva. The word Jnatva is important. Knowing this letter properly by the seekers, by the jijnasus, by the sadhakas. Jnatva, by understanding it properly, what is the meaning of the Om? Mere utterance is not enough for a seeker. A seeker should understand the meaning of Omkara. There, our life get fulfilled. The meaning of Omkara is the ultimate goal of a human being. That is why the word Jnatva, after knowing the meaning of Omkara, after knowing that this Omkara have the capacity to reach the inferior Brahman, after knowing that this Omkara has the capacity to make the person to reach the superior Brahman, by knowing this, that this Omkara has the capacity to make one reach to the inferior Brahman or to the superior Brahman. After knowing this, yaha yadichandi tasya tad, one will become what he desires. Whatever desire we keep in our mind will get fulfilled by knowing the superior Brahman through Omkara, or by knowing the superior Brahman through the utterance of Omkara, one get fulfilled one's own desires. Dharmic desires are fulfilled. One will attain the Shubham Gati. One will not fall in any kind of tragedies in the empirical world. The Omkara utterance will keep the person always in a safe condition. That is what been told in the last line, that yaha yadichandi tasya tad. What a person desires in one's life, he becomes that. He will be ready to enjoy what he desires in one's life. That is being told in this shloka. I will give the meaning once again. Edat hi eva aksharam brahma. Indeed, this Omkara will represent the inferior Brahman. And the second, edat hi eva aksharam param. Indeed, this Omkara will also represent the ultimate Brahman. I will remind you again what is meant by inferior and superior. Inferior means when you meditate on a deity called Maheshwara or Sri Chakra or Salagram, whatever it may be, any form is called inferior Brahman. It has another name in the Sanskrit word or in the Vedantic text, Saguna Brahma Upasana, Hiranya Garbha Upasana. Understand? Here in Shankara says that Hiranya Garbha Upasana. We convert for the sake of understanding. Inferior Brahman means any deity which we choose to have some prayer in front of him. That deity is being called by inferior Brahman. The Omkara represents our specific deity. The Omkara also represents our ultimate Brahman. Param means the ultimate thing. Param. The ultimate thing. Nothing will be there on that top. The ultimate thing will be on the top, which is the base, which is the locus of creation. That ultimate thing is also being represented by the syllable Om. Knowing this, like what knowing? Knowing that this Omkara represents the inferior Brahman also, the Omkara will represent the superior Brahman also. The person will obtain, the person will achieve what he desires in his life. Some may ask sometimes, Swamiji, I don't have enough time to listen your Vedantic teachings, but I am doing daily prayers to Lord Vasudeva in my house. Swamiji, I don't have any time to listen Vedantic text, or my mind is not yet ready to listen your wisdom words from the Vedanta. But I am doing my daily prayers in my house. Will it make me to achieve the supreme goal? Of course. When you do some special prayers in your daily life, for example, daily puja according to your own Shakti, whatever you can do, I offer some tulasi gel and I offer some 2 fruits before I going to my office. That is my puja. Itself, your attitude will be concerned that you are ready to do a puja before entering to your official work. That itself is a punyam. This type of activities are called Saguna Brahma Upasana. Lord is being invoked in a specified form and you do certain prayers in front of him. That is called Saguna Brahma Upasana. When you do Saguna Brahma Upasana, you are also in the ultimate way. You will reach the supreme goal, because by doing the prayers to a specific deity, to a particular deity, it itself make the person to qualify to listen the words from a traditional teacher. Because Vina Jnanam the moksham na labhyate. Without the knowledge about oneself, there is no moksha. Moksha is not a thing you to obtain after the death. Moksha is a thing which you obtain while living. How? By listening the words of the traditional teacher, you get the knowledge about yourself that you are not a body, you are not a mind, you are not a person who born in a religion, but you are the ultimate Brahman. On that ultimate Brahman, this body is superimposed. By knowing this knowledge, listening to him for a length of time, sometimes it may take years, sometimes it may take only 1 day or 2 days. This knowledge is the direct means for the moksha. All other pujas will make the mind to be ready to receive the knowledge. So, praying to the inferior Brahman, I mean deities, will also take the person to this pursuit, spiritual pursuit. Okay. That is been told, Edat hi eva aksharam jnatva. By knowing this value of this syllable, this Omkara, which can take either to inferior Brahman or to supreme goal or to supreme Brahman, By knowing this, the person itself become to get obtained by all his desires fulfilled. The person will be eligible to fulfill all his desires by listening this message itself, by listening this shloka itself. Is it possible? Your mind may ask, I have certain desires. It will be possible after listening this shloka. Vedanta never talks about lies, or it will not embellish certain things. It will only talk about the facts which are true. There is no exaggeration. There is no building up of certain things which will not work in your life. Vedas and Vedanta talks about the fact which will only comes in our life. The truth only it will reveal. So there is no doubt that all the desires will be fulfilled by knowing this. Omkara will make the person to reach the ultimate goal or the inferior goal. Something very important. I will read the shloka once again, which we have studied now. Then I will enter into the new shloka. Etat hi eva aksharam brahma. Etat hi eva aksharam param. Etat hi eva aksharam jnatva. Yo yati chandi tasya tat. Very important teaching given to Nachiketas by the Lord Tat. Now he again gives certain understanding regarding the particular goal, the ultimate goal of the human being. Etat alampanam shreshtam. Etat alampanam param. Etat alampanam jnatva. Brahmaloke mahiyate. Alampanam, support. May one take this Omkara as their support, as their saving grace in their life. May one take into the pursuit of prayers by uttering this Omkara. Before knowing something, we utter the name. Correct? When we were child, we were just uttering the words. We don't know what is the meaning of the words. Papa, Mama, we just say that words by listening from the mouth of my mother or my father. But after a period of time, when the mind is ready to understand the meaning of the words, I will grasp the meaning automatically. Similarly, just may one utter the Omkara for the time being, even though we don't have the idea of the complete meaning of the Omkara. May one take this Omkara as the support of their life. Etadeva alampanam shreshtam. The very word Shrestha, one of the word which we use for the best, clean, pure, glorious. Every meaning can be invoked in the word Shrestha. This is the glorious support. This is the ultimate support. Etat alampanam shreshtham. One of the best support. And also, etat alampanam param. This is the best support to ultimate this is the best support to reach the ultimate goal. Support means, when we can't walk, we use the stick as a support. When we want to take a boiled rice from our pressure cooker, our spoon is our support. Kenchi. When we want to take something from the boiling water for potato or something, we take a long stick or a kenchi to take the potato outside. So support means something which will be helpful in your life. In order to reach the ultimate goal, may one know that Om is the best support. And Etadeva Aksharam Natva, same like this. Etadeva Alampanam Nyatva. By knowing that this is the best support in one's life, this simple, this Omkara or this syllable becomes the support in one's life. By knowing this, they will reach Brahmaloka. Reaching Brahmaloka means is an inferior result, which I am going to talk about what is mean by Brahmaloka. It is much less similar to heaven or certain superior world. One can reach heaven or one can reach something, a world which is superior than this world which we are living now. The ultimate, the meaning of the sloka is, may one take support of this syllable Om by uttering this, so that one can get the best results in their life. If you want the ultimate Brahman as a result in your life, may one repeat the Omkara in their daily life through prayers. I will explain you more in the next class. We will stop the class now and we will enter into the Maha Mrityunjaya Mantra Japa. Gobrahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Kale varshadu parjanyaha. Prithvi sasya shalini. Deshoyam kshoparahitaha. Brahmana santu nirbhayaha. Sarve bhavantu sukinaha. Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkhapak bhavet. Asatoma sadgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamata Purnamitam Purnat Purnamutachyate. Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste, all of you. See you in the next class next Sunday. Thank you, all of you.